Hello! Today we are going to talk about solving equations. So please make sure you have something to write with and paper, and let's have a short review on solving equations. And I would write solving equations as my title. Okay, so first we're going to start with one-step equations. So that's going to be this first section. We're going to talk about one-step equations. And I'll underline this short section title right here, because all of this is about one-step equations. And what I'm going to tell you next is true for one-step equations and other equations that we're trying to solve. You always want to balance the equation, and we're going to use the opposite operation or the inverse operation. So, first off, balance the equation. That means if you add a new number on the left side of the equal, then add that new number on the right side of the equal. And I'm just going to write that down. If you add 4 on the left of the equal sign, then we're going to add 4 on the right of the equal sign. And that's what we mean by balancing equations. This makes sure that our equation is always equal. So that means if I do a new division section and I divide by 2 on the left side of the equal sign, I'm also going to divide by 2 on the right side of the equal sign. If I multiply by 7 on the right side, I'm going to multiply by 7 on the left side. And it keeps going that way. Now, deciding what new operation that we're going to use, we're always going to use the inverse operation, or I can say the opposite. So we're going to say use inverse, which is basically the opposite. Operations to get the variable by itself. And we call that isolating the variable. Or the variable would be your letters that you have as a part of the problem, A, B, C, X, Y, whatever it is. So let's do some problems with one-step equations. Now this should be a review for you, but we want to get in the habit with simple problems of showing all of our steps so that it's easy, and we're in the habit of showing our understanding in more complicated problems. So the first problem that we're going to work through is B plus 18 equals 20. I want to isolate the variable. That means I want to get B by itself on this left side of the equal sign. Now to do that, I see what's happening to B. B has something being added to it. 18 is being added to B. So I'm going to use that inverse operation. The opposite of adding, or the inverse of adding, is subtracting. And I'm going to subtract 18 on the left side of the equal sign. Some people draw a line through the equal sign to kind of show two sides of the equation. And I'm going to subtract 18 on the right side of the equal sign. And I'm drawing a line right here to show that this is my line for where I'm adding and subtracting things. So there's nothing being added or subtracted with this B here. So I'm just going to write B below this line. Positive 18 minus 18 is 0. I don't have to write equals 0 or plus 0 right there. I'm just going to write the equal sign. And 20 minus 18 is 2. So my final answer is B equals 2. Let's try it with another problem. x minus 17 equals 121. And if it helps you, draw a little line to think about the left side and the right side of the equal sign. I'm looking at x is my variable. I want to get it by itself. And 17 is being subtracted from x. So to undo subtraction, the opposite of subtraction, the inverse of subtraction, is addition. So I will add 17 on the left side of the equal sign, and I will add 17 on the right side of the equal sign. And same thing that we did before. There's nothing being added or subtracted with this x. So I'm going to write x down here. And minus 17 plus 17 is 0. So I don't have to write plus 0. I will write my equal sign. And 121 plus 17 is going to give me 138. So x is equal to 138. Now, for both of these problems, something that I didn't talk about is we want to check our work. Now, instead of asking, am I right? Is this the right answer? You can check your work and you don't have to wait on someone to work it out for you. So to check my work, I'm going to write the original problem, b plus 18 equals 20. We said that b equals 2, so I will substitute and write 2 plus 18 instead of b plus 18. I'm substituting 2 for b. And that should be equals 20. Does 2 plus 18 equal 20? Yes, 2 plus 18 equals 20. My answer checks out. B equals 2 is correct. And I can do the same thing with this other problem. Our original problem was x minus 17 equals 121. And we said x is 138, so 138 minus 17 should equal 121. When I work it out, 138 minus 17 is 121. My answer checks out. Yes, 138 is the correct answer. Part of you working out this problem is also for you to check your answer. Let's do 2 more one-step equations. I want you to try these on your own. You're going to write down the problem and write down what you do to solve it. Write down what you do to solve it. Don't just answer in your mind. So for number 3, our problem is going to be the letter A over 5, or A divided by 5, equals 6. And you're going to find your answer. For number 4, try it on your own, write it on your paper and show the steps. Our question is 2.5x equals 625. Now you should try this on your own and then check in. All right, so to solve these, I'm going to do the opposite operation. A over 5 is the same thing as A divided by 5. And the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply to get rid of this. Always multiply by the bottom number. I'll multiply by 5. And I need to multiply by 5 on the right side also. Now, A over 5 times 5 is just A. Bring down the equal sign. 6 times 5 is 30. My answer is A equals 30. And when I check it, my original problem was A over 5 equals 6. So I can say A over 5 equals 6. And I'm going to substitute 30 to figure out, is it true? Is 30 over 5, or 30 divided by 5, does that equal 6? Now check it out, 30 divided by 5 is 6, so my answer is correct here. Now for problem 4, 2.5x means the same thing as 2.5 times x. So the opposite of multiplying is dividing. I'm going to divide by 2.5. Don't forget, if I divide on the left side of the equal sign, I have to divide on the right side of the equal sign. Now, you may write out this problem on paper to help you divide it, or you might use a calculator to double check yourself. But 2.5x divided by 2.5 means 1x. And we usually don't write 1x. We just write x. So x equals 625 divided by 2.5 is 250. So x equals 250. I'm going to check myself. Instead of 2.5 times x, I'm going to write 2.5 times 250 and see, does that equal 625? I might use my calculator to help me check this and type 2.5 times 250 in the calculator. 2.5 times 250 equals 625. My answer checks out. So I'm correct there. Let's move on to two-step equations. We've done one step. Let's look at two-step equations. Now, there are several ways to solve equations, and sometimes this confuses people because there's not just one right way. There are a couple of ways. As you get more practice, you understand better which ways you can use to solve an equation. But our second heading is going to be two-step equations. And for two-step equations, we are still going to use the inverse operation. But when we work with our two-step equations, we are going to undo addition or subtraction first. Whichever one we see. Then we're going to undo any multiplication or division we see. And you might want to abbreviate this in your notes and write the short version of addition or subtraction and the short version of multiplication and division. So first we'll undo addition and subtraction, then we will undo multiplication or division, and then we will undo any exponents that we see. That includes any square roots. So any exponents or symbols like this. And lastly, we'll deal with any parentheses. We'll undo anything that's inside parentheses. So our two-step equations, our first one that we're going to solve is 5y equals, that should be 5y plus 8 equals 23. So remember, we have our list up here. The first thing I'm going to undo is addition or subtraction, and I am still trying to isolate the variable. That means I'm trying to get rid of anything that is added or subtracted or multiplied or divided with y. I want to get y by itself. So to undo addition, there's a plus 8 right here. I'm going to subtract 8. And I'm going to bring down 5y. 8 minus 8 is 0. I don't have to write 5y plus 0. I can bring down the equal sign. 23 minus 8 is 15. And now I have 5y equals 15. This just looks just like one of the one-step equations we just did. 5y means the same thing as 5 times y. So to undo multiplication, I divide. Divide by 5 on the left side of the equal sign and divide by 5 on the right side of the equal sign. 5y divided by 5 is just y equals 15 divided by 5 is 3. So my answer is y equals 3. And to check it, I'm going to substitute 3 for y. So instead of 5y, I'm going to write 5 times 3 plus 8, and I need to see, does that equal 23? 5 times 3 is 15. I'm going to bring down the plus 8, bring down the equals 23. 15 plus 8, yeah, that equals 23. So my answer checks out. I know that y equals 3 is the correct answer. Let's try another two-step equation. X over 4 minus 8 equals 2. So to solve this one, remember I'm undoing addition or subtraction first to isolate that variable. So I want to get x by itself. So first off, let's get rid of that subtraction. Get rid of the minus 8. Let's add 8 on both sides. And I will bring down this x over 4.
Take Lamisol, it's 1:03 p.m.
I bring down the x over 4. X negative 8 plus 8, or a minus 8 plus 8 equals 0. And I don't really have to write plus 0 down here. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to bring down that equal sign, and then 2 plus 8 equals 10. So now I have x over 4 equals 10. Now remember, x over 4 is the same thing as x divided by 4. And to undo division, we multiply. So I am going to multiply by 4 on the left side of the equal sign. And I'm going to multiply by 4 on the right side of the equal sign. 4 times x over 4 equals x. Bring down the equal sign. 10 times 4 is 40, so x equals 40. Now, when I check it, I'm going to substitute 40 for x. So instead of x over 4, I'm going to write 40 over 4 minus 8 equals 2. And to check it, I'm going to work it out. So 40 over 4 is the same as 40 divided by 4. 40 divided by 4 is 10. Bring down the minus 8, bring down the 2. 10 minus 8, does that equal 2? Yes, so my answer checks out. X equals 40. These next two problems, I want you to try them on your own. Make sure you show work in your notes on how to get the correct answers. To try on your own, x over 3 plus 10 equals 15. And 3 minus 6x equals 9. Try these problems, try to find x, and don't forget to check your work.